What's going on, folks? Welcome to Breaking the Set. I'm Abby Martin. So with the world's attention focused on bombing ISIS in Iraq and Syria, many have forgotten about America's ongoing occupation of Afghanistan. See, as the longest war in U.S. history rages on, the country is not only mired down in violence, it's drowning in opium. In fact, poppy cultivation there hit another all-time high last year, according to a new report from the UN Office of Drugs and Crime. Estimates put the black market value at about $3 billion, up from $2 billion the previous year. Right now, over 80% of the world's opium comes from the war-torn country, which is having major impacts across Europe, Russia, and the U.S. Heroin and opiates now kill more people in America than car crashes. Between 2009 and 2013, the National Drug Intelligence Center cites that heroin seizures increased a whopping 87%, and that the average size of those seizures also grew by 81%. So if the major source of the fatal substance is coming from a country under full-blown U.S. military occupation, how is it continuing to grow exponentially? Especially while the U.S. has pioneered a full-blown war on drugs to combat said trade. Well, this might be one reason.
Now the population is, they have these opium fields, and we are tolerating it. We are tolerating the cultivation of the opium because we know that if we were to destroy it now, the population would turn against the Marines, and it would be a real security risk.
Yes, despite the Taliban nearly eradicating the opium crop, an unfortunate, or perhaps fortunate happenstance, the U.S. invasion, were the soldiers who turned into poppy guards, essentially overseeing its cultivation. This, despite the U.S. government and its coalition partners spending almost $8 billion in counter-narcotics efforts in the country. Government officials, of course, have also absolved themselves of responsibility from the deadly trade and have resorted to blaming most of the country's violence and instability on the crop. Michael Lumpkin, Secretary of Defense for Special Operation, said the failure to reduce poppy cultivation and increase eradication is due to the lack of Afghan government support for the effort. Right, because it couldn't possibly be yet another consequence of a failed occupation that might just drag on for another decade. A decade that the world's opiate addicts simply can't afford.